What is registered nurse? RNS assess and define the patient's needs and the importance of the monitoring the patient's medical plan and the treatment. They also measure that the patient care is increased according to the policy and standard of the employer, whatever that is a hospital and another facility. NHS was founded in 1948 after the publication of the NHS Act 1946. At the time, nurses were the trained on the job is hospitals were offered regarding the assistance of the doctors with a little responsibility and were almost always female. Shortly after the introduction of NHS Act 1946, nurse education was stripped from hospitals, moved into university transformation their career into an all graduation profession. Nurses were taught to encourage their patients to lead healthier lives and healthier lives by providing information and support. This come about after government statistics revealed many patients were suffering with parental illness related to work lifestyle choice. The evolving role of a registered nurse, multiple policy and the legislation were introducing the update after 1990 which impact the roles of registered nurse, patient, and the vendor community as a whole, starting with NHS and the Community Care Act 1990, which gave nurses more responsibility for business, producer, and the budget, including management. As a result, NHS hospitals and community trusts learned to manage themselves from within. They started with the snowball effect, the changes for nurse, midwife, and the other wider community. Between 1992 and 1999, the Department of the Health review policy leading to the nursing beginning given the right to the prescribe the medication for minor illness and injuries in health promotion and palliation care roles. This new responsibility was well received into the medical industry. Nurses were able to make more a contribution to the patient outcome starting in 2000 prescribing when nursing the working at A&E department and the GP practice and by 2003 the government added a further 60 drugs to the nurse prescribed formerly include the drugs of the diabetic and asthma introduced in 2002. The Moderation Agency was founded in 2001 is the redesign and expand the scale and the role of the health promotion. This professionalization allow nursing roles but the mature is the scale and compulsory outcome has been the improvement in patient care and the job satisfaction. Nurse would be assessed on their honesty, competency, ability to problem solve and coordinate care as example, shortly after in 2010, the NMS standard for pre-registration nursing education 2010 would prepare nurses to take a range of the roles including leadership policy. The NMC standard would also delegate the nurses will respond to changes, needs, development, priorities, and expectation in rapid changing environment. Nursing in midwife Council 2010. Clinical communication group were introducing after the franchises report 2013 indicated standard is the 19 in the 19 pandemic. Later, the 2020, the government prescribed the 50,000 new nurses and confirmed 40 hospitals will be built in 2030. Department of the Health of the Social Care. Each of these events in time has built upon the standard to competencies required for a registered nurse. The Royal College of Nurses (RCN) sets out four key areas of competition: professional values, communication and international skills, interpersonal skills, nursing practice, and decision making and leadership management and teamwork. Newly qualified nurses are more prepared than ever before as they develop specialist expertise and clinical experience from the very beginning of their career. Specialist expertise has been developed in response to the changing needs of patients and the general population, as well as innovations in healthcare policy and provision. Examples of relatively specialist and nurse consultant roles were created to increase efficiency, support career and progression, reduce waiting time, and improve the patient's outcome. The Nursing and Midwife Council (NMC) Better and the Safer Care for People is at the heart of what we do, supporting the healthcare professionals on our register to deliver the highest standards of care. NMC 2019. The Nursing and Midwifery Council (NMC) are the regular regulatory body for nurses and midwives in the UK, founded in 2001 under the Nursing and Midwifery Order established by Parliament. The UK purpose of the NMC is to maintain a register of nurse midwives and the health visitor through setting and monitoring standards of education, practice, and conduct through handling complaints about the misconduct and unfitness to practice of those on the register. Freely as UK Parliament 2003 to be entered onto the NMC register, newly qualified nurses must meet the NMC eligibility requirement to take the test of competence. Once the confirmation of eligibility is received, applicants must register and pay to take the test persons with persons to be entered. Once the NMC registered, newly qualified nurses must meet the NMC eligibility requirement to take the test of the competence. Once confirmation of eligibility is received, applicant must register and pay to take the test with the license view. Since April 2006, registered nurses have been required to confirm they are fit to practice by renewing their registration every 3 years, and it is their own responsibility to do so. High standards must be met to revalidate their place on the register, including 450 practice hours and 35 hours of CPD, 5 pieces of practice relevant feedbacks, 5 within the reflective accounts and reflective discussion with NMC registrant, 5 pieces of practice related feedback, 5 written reflective accounts or reflective discussion with NMC registered, a health and character declaration of appropriate professional identity and insurance arrangement, and confirmation that all required have been met. NMC 2016. The NMC regulation publics guides of ensure all registers are kept up to date with changes and are remediated to their communicated of the NMC. The NMC Code. The code contains the professional standards that registered nurse, midwives, and nursing associates must uphold. This commitment to professional standards is fundamental to beginning part of of Profession (NMC 2015). The code excites the whole NMC registered nurse, midwives, and nursing associates accountable for their action, particularly when they fall short of their professional standards. The code is within law oppress of the poor suffering, unprofessional attitude, or limited resources are examples of circumstances where professional working could be compromised. They should be raised as a concern to the employer, the professional body, or a union. Failure to comply with the NMC code can result in disciplinary action by the regulatory body or profession. Example of allergic agent nurses include misconduct, bad character, and lack of competence. The NMC published guidance of the professional duty of candor in June 2015, which states every healthcare professional must be open and honest with patient when something that goes wrong with their treatment or care goes or has the potential to cause harm or distress. NMC June 2000. Multidisciplinary teamwork. Multidisciplinary teams are fantastic for patient outcome for many reasons. For example, cross fertilization of idea, professional knowledge, and expertise can be shared and facilitated. This collaboration of special skill, knowledge, and expectation all contributed to meeting the holistic needs to the patient. Healthcare setting require many different care and medical disciplines to the work together. It is imperative the communication skill, in particular, on all of the staff is to be their best whose without the team may not be work is well throughout the may not be meet another patient. They can successful teamwork in the multidisciplinary team start and with agreed approach with everyone works with their own scope of practice. Each member must be committed support to team as they cooperate with mutual respect. There should be focused goal and agreed teamwork to review progress towards that goal. Finally, the team should have a coordinated responsible for overseeing of the treatment plan for the patient. Holistic model in nursing care. The nurse's role in a multidisciplinary team is more than just caring for the patient. Registered nurse use different tools to work in participants with the patient, making the patient central to the care. They Charlotte Cards, MB, editor of the first UK textbook on the nursing process, described the nursing process as a scientific approach. Today, nurses follow a path of the interacted stage to consolidate multidisciplinary team working, including assessment or data collection, nursing diagno- technologies using clinical judgment planning with nursing intervention, implements and validates the care plan and continual evaluation. The success of the nursing process depends on the quality of the relationship built between the nurse and the patient, but through to achieve effective interventions policy positive patient outcomes overall. Virgin Henderson Henry follow of the RC and category nursing activity into 14 competence based on human needs. The become nurse and Henderson therapy or needs to this activity stem from Maslow history of needs and allow nurses to assess the patient with a holistic approach that covers their physically, psychologically, spiritually, and social health. How parents how parents can support a child if child has a mental health in some few points of these things. Model healthy coping skills like they do the some activity for the child. What about they can do the stress the ball, making the art, going for the walks can create strategies for coping with feelings. And another thing is the what the behavior changing. Very normal for kids to grow to the changing behavior while progressing through the different development stages, become more withdraw or isolate for their friends, family, or routine if sign they can experience the situation, feeling they don't know how to process of their own. Another thing is a key communication, open and honest. If some male if the child has a mental health, important things that the child knows they can approach with any issue, so they can receive, they will be receive and listening the love and support. Create a routine and set clear boundary at home. You have to do the anxiety of the child life, creating a general routine at home and can provide some reliefs. And let them know they are loved and support. For a child, one of the most important things you can provide is in the environment where they know are loved and important. They know their support no matter about the things, and then the provide positive feedback and encouragement. Kids love that receive positive feedback and learn that they have done something well. So you have to encourage the joyful moment. Physical activity provides a necessary outlet for kids, which is important for both physical and mental health, helping children find the type of the moment they enjoy. Even from an early age, is a great way to ensure they remain encouraged and interested. Practically in movement through which a child can also be a great way to get them involved. And another thing, we talk about emotional and feeling regulation. You have to say rather than simply saying use the was good or okay, try to discuss different emotions you felt throughout your day when talking with your child, talking them about the moment you felt stressed in a meeting of the frustrated with the co-worker, and then talk about how to handle your emotion if the situation. Conclusion. Towards the end of the 19th century and throughout the beginning of the 20th century, many medical advances were made. As medical as process, so has the role and responsibility for those working in medicine and healthcare industries. Nurses strive to work in partnership with their team across multiple disciplines and with patients and their families. The NMC provides teamwork and guidance for nurses throughout their career and seeks to enforce a standard of competency across the nursing industry. The year 2020 presented many challenges for the NHS and nurses in particular. It will be introducing to see what happens next for the future of the NHS and nursing professional with the introduction of 50,000 new nurses and 14 new recommendation. The main objective of this presentation was to define of the roles and the responsibility of the registered nurse in the multidisciplinary team. One of the limitations faced during the research stage of planning this presentation was the amount of the information available. I found that a nursing industry has experienced many changes as more and more policy come into the force from the government website has been particularly useful to create a timeline of events in future It would like to conduct interviews with nurses to find out their personal experience with changes over the years.